This is Mark Dell with Android Spin, and this review is for Muffin Night by Angry Mob Games. With great muffin comes great responsibility. Let me get this mention out of the way quickly. Muffin Night has taken a lot of flack since its release for its glaring similarities to the free independent game Super Crate Box, which was released last year on PC and Mac and is due out soon on mobile. The core gameplay is practically identical and the levels are the same as are many of the weapons. That said, just because something is derivative of another product doesn't mean that it's not worthy of its own review and praise for its own merits, much like the whole tower defense subgenre, as long as it isn't deemed original. The world of Muffin Night is made up of 6 small, almost single-screen levels that slowly fill up with enemies as you run around to collect muffins. The enemies drop down from the top of the screen, and should they find their way off the bottom, they'll reappear at the top along with the other creatures, but they're faster and tougher to kill. You'll have to constantly trim back the enemy forces to prevent yourself from getting overwhelmed. This alone is a fine game mechanic, but what really mixes things up is that after you collect each muffin, you'll switch randomly to an unlocked character, of which there are 15 total. The different characters bring a lot of charm into Muffin Night, with characters like Ninja Kitty and the rainbow pooping unicorn.
Unicorn!
The art style of the characters is big and cheerful, just like the rest of the game's fairy tale art style. While each of the characters control exactly the same, and the gnome jumps just as high as the bird, they do have vastly different weapons. The monkey's banana flies back like a boomerang, Mr. Rainbow fires a brightly coloured smart bomb, and the Rombie heaves his guts up with a delightfully disturbing sound.
Zombie!
The weapons also vary greatly in usefulness, and after switching to a less powerful character, you might have to make a quick path to the next muffin to be able to easily kill the enemies on the screen. Killing creatures earns you XP, which will level you up and allow you to upgrade any of the characters to improve their attacks in some way. Upgrades can also be made to your life, so you can withstand a single hit or two, and you can also purchase powers that can be chosen at the start of the level, and they grant you abilities such as slowing down time, jumping on enemies' heads, or double jumping. Technically, the game controls well with its simple on-screen arrow buttons on one side and action buttons on the other. The performance is generally good, although there are some problems when first loading new characters after grabbing a muffin, as if they're not preloaded when the level begins. Also included is multiplayer co-op, allowing local-only play across iOS and Android. However, I have not had a chance to test this feature. Say what you will about Muffin Night's roots, it still exists in its own charming world with charming graphics, music, and a few new features to its own right. Unlocking new skills is worthwhile, and it will drive you to complete levels over and gain a higher score so you can make your team better, so you can return again and get an even higher score. It might not have too many levels to see, but what there is solid and enjoyable.